I'm going to invite Andy, who's going to read our psalm today, and he's also going to share some of the testimony with us.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
I was asked to read Psalm 121, which I was delighted to do because it is my favourite psalm. And I'll tell you the story of why. Between school and university, I did a term at a Bible college in Colorado in the States. And at the end of that time, we had an outward bound course, which appropriately, because it was a Bible college, was called an upward bound course, which was 10 days walking across a wilderness area with 8 other people and a leader in the Rocky Mountain National Park. And the Americans are very, very particular about their wilderness areas. They're slightly less now, but then they were very particular about it. No motorised vehicles were allowed, and no rescue by helicopter was allowed either. So if you walked in, the phrase was, you walked in, you walk out, or you're carried out. That's the only way out. We were challenged to come up with a name for the team, if you like. So we got out our Bibles and we looked through and we came across Psalm 121, which is very appropriate for what we were doing. There was 8 of us, and there are 8 verses, which was a little sort of thing that helped. But we were in the mountains and we were doing some seriously dangerous stuff across ice fields, broke together in case we fell into crevasses, fording rivers, which it was Easter time, so there were meltwater coming off the mountains, and just living out in there. So a really formative time, really important for me in my life. But where did our help come from? Did it come from the mountains which we were looking at? No, it comes from the creator of the mountains, the creator of the whole of creation. I look up to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. He will not let you stumble. The one who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel never slumbers or sleeps. The Lord himself watches over you. The Lord stands beside you as your protective shade. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord keeps you from all harm and watches over your life. The Lord keeps watch over you as you come and go, both now and evermore. And that remained with me ever since all that time, and obviously it is very relevant to all of us on our pilgrimage of life. Amen. Obviously didn't say enough. So what happened to me in that experience? So we were travelling from one place to another, so it was in a sense a pilgrimage. During the day we were walking, we were carrying everything, our tents and all our food, we were cooking at night. And I'll just share a couple of little things that happened. One, what did I miss the most? A chair. It's quite hard, you've got nowhere to sit, the ground is hard, you can sit on a log but it's not very comfortable. I really sort of, after 10 days, thought, it's lovely to sit in a chair. So sometimes the simplest things in life you come to appreciate in a pilgrimage like that. At one time we came to a ravine and there was a fallen tree over it. It was about 80 foot down into a torrent of water go away, and it wasn't very wide, it was probably sort of from here to the stained glass window to walk across a tree. It was a wide tree, like this, but it had branches sticking up from it as well. And you realise that kind of one foot wrong, and so again going back to the psalm, the relevance of where does our protection come from? Another thing was your normal kind of civilization starts to go out of the window a little bit. I remember back, it didn't hit me at the time, but we collected water from the river or something for cooking up. And when we looked into the pan, there were some little sort of, I don't know what they were, shrimps or little things about this big, sort of moving around in the bottom. We didn't fish them out, we just boiled the water, put it in the soup and ate it. But none of us thought that you could fish them out because we kind of become more accustomed to being outside. But the journey with God as well over that time, you learn a huge amount from the people that you're with, who are obviously different to you, and you talk about different ways of viewing the world. From the leader, who I think was probably the bravest person there, to take the 8 of us out into the wilderness doing that. You know, it's very brave of him to, I mean, he must, I was relieved to get across the log. He was relieved every time somebody got across the log, presumably, because goodness knows what would have happened if somebody had fell. But also what you learn about God from the others and from yourself, from that experience of doing something like that. That's just sort of, I guess that's part of that pilgrimage, isn't it? It's something out of your normal everyday life. It's doing something different and then seeing what that tells you about God and about yourself and about what God wants you to do in your life.